Hi everybody, I'm Ray Colvin, the host of Racks and Tracks TV. I shot this nice buck here the second day of gun season, and what I like to do is get this hide off this deer as quick as I could. It was probably 2 hours after I shot this deer. I hung him up here, I skinned him, I let him sit here. It's 4 days later. Right now I'm getting ready to cut this deer up. It gets a nice hard shell on the outside of this meat, and it actually protects that meat. Now you just got to peel that shell off. That's all you got to do, get the meat off it. How I start is I start by cutting this back strap out. I go right down the center of the backbone with my knife, right straight down. Now this one here I've got pretty well cut out already. And then you peel this skin, this hard shell, off that back strip. And that back strip comes right out of there after you cut it all out, just like that. I mean, it's fairly simple. A lot of people think it's really hard to process a deer. Trust me, it isn't. I've been doing this for 25 years. I have not used a processor in 25 years. So I cut all my own deer up. I'm a very picky meat person. I don't like no fat, no tallow, no nothing on my meat. And this way here, you don't get no bone shavings in there. If they use saws and cut through the bones, it's pure meat and it's high protein. It's very good for you. So it's not that big of a deal to process your own deer. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this other back strap here out, and you can see how it's being done. Now what I'm doing, I'm working on my second back strap. What you do is it's fairly simple. You cut right along his backbone all the way down, right straight down. Now you peel the top part of this away, make a cut across the top where you want to cut that back strap off, and just peel that meat back with your knife. Just like that, fairly simple. All the way down. And now there's a casing on the outside of this that we just spoke about. And that's that hard shell. And you can see it right here. This is the hard shell that protects the meat. Peel that meat right off that hard shell. Just like that. Pull that right down. That's your back strap right there we're talking about. See that? Now this thing was protected. This piece of meat here was protected by that hard shell. Once you get this down where you want it, cut her off. Okay, now that you've got your back strap completely off both sides, all the way down, cleaned right out. Now those are one of the best pieces of this deer right here. You take it and you slice it into steak, probably about a ½ inch thick, and cook them on the grill, whatever you want to do, but they are good and lean, no fat in them at all. Now we flip this thing around. Now the best of the deer is right here on the inside. It's called the tenderloins. Now these are fairly simple. I make a cut across the top, cut down the side of that backbone, just like that, all the way down, and just peel that tenderloin right out of there. I mean, it comes right off just like your back strip does, the back strap. See how that just sort of falls right out of there? There it is right there. Now that is a very good lean piece of meat. I like to take this, and I like to marinate it in Italian dressing for like 6-7 hours, maybe even overnight. Then I wrap bacon around it, put toothpicks in it, and set that thing on the grill. It's healthy for you too. Now the next thing I do, a lot of people don't like neck roast. I found a very good way to cook a neck roast. Cut that neck off, put it in a slow cooker, and slow cook it until the meat literally falls off from all that cartilage. you can actually pick that cartilage up and shake the meat right off it, right off the bone, right off the cartilage, off the bone, off everything. It's just pure meat in there. And I'll tell you what, you eat a neck roast, you'll probably never give another neck roast away. It is one of the best parts of a deer is the neck roast, so remember that. Now we go to the hind quarter. Now there's three major groups here, and you can see where they divide, right where those lines are. If you cut right along those lines, and it's fairly simple, just like that, and then peel that right off. Now this is what you end up with. You end up with your round right here. This is a very good chunk of meat. A lot of times I'll make a roast out of this or whatever you want to do with it. But you got three chunks, and you got, I mean, look at this piece of meat right here. This thing here, you clean it all up real nice, take that hard shell off the back, and you can make that into jerky. That's a good roast. You can slice it into steaks if you'd like. Mainly, I make my steaks out of the back straps, are the ones that I like to eat. This, I usually take all of my hind quarter, all this big chunk of meat right here, and I grind it right in a burger, everything. I peel all this little chunks of fat right here, take all that little fat out of there. My meat is totally clean. I mix absolutely no suet, no fat, no nothing with my venison when I eat venison. And you'll find if you do it that way, your meat will last in the freezer a lot longer than it would if you mix fat with it, because fat is what spoils meat. And it's lean, it's good for you, it's better than any meat you're going to buy in a store, I'll guarantee it, because it doesn't have any fat in it. So anyhow, that's the tip of the month. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you saved a little bit of money. And what I usually do is, when I get done with a deer, I have probably about 35 pounds of pure meat when I'm done. If you take it to a processor, you get it processed, you usually get about 45 pounds, but most of that extra 15 pounds is usually the fat, the skin, the whatever they throw in there to grind up for a burger. You eat my burger, it's 100% pure venison, no fat. Well, I'm Ray Colvin from Racks and Tracks, and that's your tip of the month.